On Christmas morning, I overheard my wife telling her sister in the guest room, "He's so pathetic." I faked every smile. Every gift I bought him was from his own credit card. He's like a trained dog. They both laughed while I sat alone downstairs. I just smiled, and I waited until everyone left. 2 weeks later, her sister texted. She's screaming. Please answer her. Hey, Reddit. I'm 31M. I was married to Alice, 29F, for 5 years. Or should I say I was married, because what happened this Christmas changed everything. It all started 3 weeks ago. December had been pretty normal. We'd been decorating the house together, getting a tree, buying presents for family, all that typical holiday stuff. Sure, things between us had been a bit distant lately. Alice had been spending more time with her sister Holly, but that didn't bother me. Sisters are close, right? I'd spent weeks planning the perfect Christmas gifts for Alice. Had to juggle our budget pretty carefully, but I managed to set aside enough for some nice jewelry, those wireless earbuds she'd been hinting about, and this fancy skincare set from that Korean brand she follows on Instagram. I was honestly excited to see her face when she opened them, like a damn fool. Christmas morning rolls around. Her family was staying over, her parents in the downstairs guest room, Holly upstairs. Everyone was still asleep around 7 a.m., but I was up making coffee, thinking we'd all have breakfast together before opening presents. That's when I heard them, Alice and Holly, talking in the upstairs guest room. I was heading up to ask if they wanted coffee when I heard my name, followed by laughter. I froze on the stairs. The door was cracked just enough that I could hear everything. Theo is so pathetic, Alice was saying. You should see him every Christmas. Gets so excited about his gifts for me, like he's expecting a medal or something. More laughter from Holly. The best part, Alice continued, every gift I buy him is just from his own credit card. He never even checks the statement. He's like a trained dog, so happy with whatever scraps I throw him. I stood there, just processing. What the actual hell? They kept talking, but I can't even remember everything. Something about how she fakes her reaction to my gifts, how she's been doing this for years, how she finds it hilarious that I never notice. Holly asked why she stays with me. Want to know the answer? His job has good benefits and he handles all the bills. Plus, he's so easy to manage. Who else would put up with me like this? I quietly went back downstairs. My hands were shaking so bad I nearly dropped my coffee mug. Had to sit down and just breathe. An hour later, everyone was downstairs opening presents. I watched Alice like I was seeing a stranger. She opened my gifts with these big fake smiles and exaggerated "oh my god, babe" reactions that I now realized were completely rehearsed. How had I never seen through this before? When I opened my gifts from her, a new watch, some premium headphones, and a collector's edition of a video game I'd mentioned once, I just smiled and thanked her, knowing full well I had literally paid for all of it myself. Her parents seemed oblivious. Holly kept giving Alice these little smirks whenever I said anything. The whole day felt like I was in some bizarre parallel universe where nothing was as it seemed. After everyone left on the 27th, I did something I should have done years ago. I checked our credit cards, and holy Reddit, it wasn't just Christmas gifts. For years Alice had been taking cash advances on my card, buying stuff for herself with our joint account but telling me it was household expenses, opening store cards in both our names that I knew nothing about, borrowing from savings without telling me. I found charges for spa days, expensive lunches with Holly, designer clothes, all while she complained we couldn't afford to renovate the bathroom or take the trip I wanted. The next few days were a blur. I functioned on autopilot, went to work, came home, pretended everything was normal, but inside I was seething. Alice didn't suspect a thing. She was too busy playing with her new jewelry and posting pictures of what my amazing husband got me for Christmas on social. The comments were all "you're so lucky" and husband goals. I just wanted to scream. Every night when she fell asleep, I'd lie there staring at the ceiling, replaying that conversation in my head. He's like a trained dog. 5 years of my life with someone who saw me as a joke. As a goddamn ATM with legs. I started digging deeper. Found out she'd been sending money to Holly too, hundreds every month from our savings. For what? Who knows? Probably just because she could. New Year's Eve we were at a friend's party. Alice got drunk, ignored me all night, then demanded I drive her home early because she had a headache. As I watched her perk right back up once we got home and start texting, probably Holly, something just clicked. I wasn't going to be the punchline anymore. I wasn't going to explode or confront her in some dramatic scene that would let her paint me as the bad guy. No. I was going to be smarter than that. I opened my laptop that night and started making a list of everything I knew, everything I had access to, everything I needed to do. Alice was passed out from champagne. She had no idea I was planning something that would change both our lives. The trained dog was about to learn some new tricks. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then I've been methodically working through my list, setting things up, moving pieces around. Alice noticed I've been a little quiet, but I blamed it on a work project. She believed me. Why wouldn't she? In her mind I'm still that oblivious idiot who never questions anything. Yesterday was the last piece of the puzzle. I confirmed something I'd suspected but needed to be sure about. Won't go into details yet, but let's just say Alice and Holly's little game goes deeper than I thought. Tomorrow everything changes. I've taken the day off work. Alice is going to her sister's for the weekend, thinking I'll be here waiting like always. Like that trained dog she laughed about. She has no idea what's coming. I've never felt so calm. So focused. It's like all those years of being taken advantage of crystallized into perfect clarity. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm just ready. Ready to show Alice and Holly exactly who they've been playing with all this time. Update OP here with the update you've all been waiting for. First off, thank you for all the comments, DMs, and awards. Never expected that kind of response. Reading your messages has been validating and honestly a bit overwhelming. So, the last 2 weeks, where do I even start? After discovering Alice's betrayal, I went into this weird calm phase, unnaturally calm. Wasn't sleeping much, maybe 4 hours a night, but my mind was razor sharp. All those emotions got channeled into pure focus. The morning after my last post, Alice actually asked if I wanted coffee while she was making some. She never does that. In 5 years of marriage I've always made my own coffee. It was like she sensed something was off and was trying to be extra nice. Too little, too late. First thing I did was call my bank on my lunch break, sitting in my car for privacy. Changed all passwords, set up 2-factor, requested new cards, had everything overnighted to my workplace, not home. When Alice texted about a fraud alert on the joint account, I said I was just updating security after some data breach I read about online. She bought it without question. The irony of her worrying about fraud, lol. Next I started a journal, screenshots of statements, credit card bills, photos of items around the house I'd paid for that she claimed were gifts. This wasn't just for divorce, it was for my own sanity, so I knew I wasn't crazy. Day by day I made small changes. Stopped doing her laundry. Stopped asking what she wanted for dinner. Started going to the gym after work instead of rushing home. Declined her friend's birthday dinner, something I'd never done before. Stopped texting her during the day to check in. Nothing huge, but enough that she noticed. On day 4 she actually asked if everything was okay. I just shrugged and said work was stressful. The old me would have apologized and tried to make it up to her. Not anymore. While that was happening, I was handling the big stuff behind the scenes. Found a 1-bedroom apartment 20 minutes away. Paid deposit and first month's rent from a personal savings account she didn't know about. I'd started it 2 years ago for a surprise anniversary trip. Guess that trip was never happening. Called a college buddy who's a financial advisor. Met for drinks and spent 3 hours going through everything. His face when I showed him what Alice had been doing, man. He helped me build a step-by-step plan to untangle it all. One of the hardest parts was not reacting when Alice did something obviously manipulative, like surprising me with takeout from my favorite place, paid with my card, and expecting endless gratitude, or complaining money was tight after dropping $300 on new clothes. I kept thinking about all the red flags I'd missed, how she'd get irritated when I wanted to check the joint account, how she dismissed budget concerns but always had new stuff, how she gradually isolated me from my friends, especially Jake and Mark. Those girls' trips with Holly that always cost way more than she said. How she'd make me feel guilty for buying anything for myself. Speaking of friends, I reached out to Jake and Mark for the first time in 2 years. Alice had always said they were bad influences or didn't respect our marriage. Turns out they'd tried to contact me multiple times, but Alice told them I was too busy. We met for beers and it was like no time had passed. I didn't tell them everything yet, but it felt good to have them back. Around day 8 I noticed Alice texting frantically more than usual. That night I pretended to fall asleep on the couch but watched her slip into the bathroom with her phone. Door wasn't fully closed, I could hear her whispering to Holly, "Something's wrong with Theo. He's acting different. What if he knows something?" Holly told her she was paranoid, that I was too clueless to figure anything out. That comment made finalizing my plan so much easier. By day 10 I had new bank accounts at a different bank, switched my direct deposit, documented all assets, gathered birth certificate, passport, everything. Quietly packed a suitcase and kept it in my trunk. Consulted a divorce attorney. Alice was definitely sensing something. Tried initiating sex twice that week, something that had become rare. I said I was tired. The confusion on her face almost made me laugh. The trained dog wasn't performing on command anymore. The Wednesday before everything went down, Holly came over for dinner. I played the oblivious, slightly distant husband perfectly, made small talk, cleaned up, then said I had work upstairs. Instead I sat at the top of the stairs, the exact spot I'd overheard them Christmas morning. And sure enough, they started talking about me again. Alice was genuinely worried, said I was acting weird, distant, not jumping to do things for her. Holly said she was overthinking it, that she had me wrapped too tightly wrapped for anything to change. If only they knew. Friday morning came, the day Alice was leaving for Holly's weekend. I acted normal, helped load her bag, kissed her goodbye. She seemed relieved I was normal again, said she'd miss me. I smiled and said I'd miss her too. The second her car disappeared down the street I called the moving company I'd already booked. They arrived 30 minutes later. In 3 hours we loaded everything that was mine from before the marriage, my electronics, clothes, personal items, things I could prove I bought alone, half the kitchen stuff being fair. I left all her clothes, vanity, desk, bookshelves, anything clearly hers or bought together that I couldn't prove solo. By mid-afternoon my new apartment had the essentials. Not pretty, but functional. Then I went to the bank and withdrew exactly half our joint savings, not a penny more, even though she'd been stealing from it for years. Wanted to stay 100% legally clean. Back at the house I set up the final touch. On the dining room table I laid out copies of every credit card statement showing her buying my gifts, screenshots of cash advances, receipts for the Christmas gifts I actually bought her, records of money sent to Holly, the audio recording of them calling me a trained dog, totally legal in my state, and on top divorce papers from my lawyer. Next to the stack I left my house key, and my wedding ring. Then I blocked her number, but sent one final text first. The trained dog learned some new tricks. Enjoy your weekend with Holly. I left my phone unblocked for unknown numbers in case of real emergency. I'm not a monster. Then I went to my new place, ordered pizza, cracked a beer, and waited. Around 8 p.m. my phone exploded. Alice had come home early and found everything. Texts from unknown numbers, voicemails, emails, social media messages. She was using friends' phones. I didn't answer a single one. Just sat there feeling the weight lift off my shoulders with every ignored notification. For the first time in years I could breathe. Then the next morning, 10 a.m., the text from Holly. She's screaming. Please answer her. I smiled, screenshotted it, and went back to assembling my new desk. To be continued. That text from Holly, she's screaming. Please answer her. I stared at it for 10 solid minutes. Part of me felt twisted satisfaction. Another part felt empty, like I'd been running on adrenaline for 2 weeks and my body finally remembered to be tired. I didn't reply right away. Finished my IKEA desk, those damn hex wrenches, am I right? Made coffee, took a shower. My phone kept buzzing. More from Holly. This isn't funny anymore, Theo, she's having a breakdown, at least tell me where you took everything. She'd even called my work, they told her I was on vacation days. That actually made me laugh out loud. Yeah, I'd saved 5 days she didn't know about. Wasn't about to deal with this fallout at the office. Around noon I finally replied to Holly one message. You both laughed at me on Christmas morning. Called me a trained dog. How's it feel to be on the other side? She fired back instantly. It was just girl talk, I was taking it out of context. Alice really loves me. Then called me an asshole for abandoning my wife. The cognitive dissonance was impressive. I blocked her too. By evening the messages spread to email, social media, even LinkedIn, LOL. Alice had gone nuclear, posted about how her husband disappeared and took everything, conveniently leaving out why. Her friends flooded the comments with the predictable monster takes. Meanwhile Jake and Mark were blowing up my phone with support. They'd gotten nasty messages from Alice too, but wouldn't tell her anything even if they knew. That first night alone, air mattress, takeout containers, half-unpacked boxes, the silence was deafening after years of Alice's constant chatter, TV, calls with Holly. I had to put on a podcast just to have noise. Slept like garbage. Woke up at 3 a.m. with a pit in my stomach. Not regret exactly, more like the reality hitting me. 5 years over. Starting from 0 at 31. All our plans gone. For about 30 minutes I almost texted her. Then I remembered Christmas morning. The bank statements. Trained dog. The pit turned to stone-cold resolve. Day 2 the unknown number texts ramped up, her parents now. Her dad was actually decent, asked if we could talk. Her mom called me every name in the book. I didn't reply. Mutual friends started reaching out, most only heard Alice's side. A few asked for mine. I kept it simple, there are 2 sides. I'll share when I'm ready. Day 3 I checked email. Found one from Alice at 3:42 a.m. I know I messed up. Whatever you think you heard, we can work through this. The house feels empty without you. Holly was pressuring me to act cool. Please come home. Classic Davo. I forwarded it to my lawyer. No reply. Later that day Holly called from a friend's phone, sounded subdued. Said Alice was staying with her, hadn't slept or eaten, called in sick to work, then dropped that Alice had already maxed her personal cards. Without my income she was apparently screwed. Not my problem, I told her. Maybe she should have thought about financial independence before treating me like an ATM for 5 years. Holly actually started crying, apologized for her part, said she never thought it would go this far. I almost felt bad, then remembered her laughing at trained dog and the sympathy vanished. Before I hung up I said, tell Alice my lawyer will contact her next week. That's the only communication she's getting from me. Week 1 turned into week 2. I settled in, hung pictures, bought plants. Alice always said they were messy. Divorce paperwork moved forward. Alice swung from rage to desperate bargaining, flowers to my work. How'd she even know I was back? Handwritten letter in my mailbox, sad Spotify playlist. I blocked everything. Found out through the grapevine she had to get a roommate for the house, couldn't afford the mortgage alone. The roommate? Holly. Chef's kiss irony. 3 weeks post-escape we had our one and only face-to-face meeting, lawyers present. Seeing Alice again was intense. She looked smaller, tired, hair messy, not the perfect styling I was used to. The second she saw me she started crying, tried to come toward me. Her lawyer held her back. My lawyer laid out terms, sell the house, split proceeds, even though I'd put most of the down payment, assets already divided and documented as mine, no alimony, clean break. Her lawyer came back with ridiculous demands, keep the house, make me pay her cards, alimony. My lawyer slid over the folder of evidence. Alice's face when she realized I had receipts for everything, priceless. Her lawyer's expression shifted too. They asked for a private caucus. When they came back the demands were tiny. Tone set. Outside in the parking lot Alice made one last move, grabbed my arm, mascara running, begging she'd change, get therapy, cut Holly off, anything. For a split second I saw the Alice I fell in love with, the one who laughed at my dumb jokes, nursed me through the flu, looked perfect on our wedding day. Then I remembered Christmas morning. I gently removed her hand and said the only words I ever spoke to her again. I deserve better than being someone's joke. And so do you. Then I walked away. The divorce finalized 3 months later, faster than average because no kids, and Alice stopped fighting once she saw the evidence. We sold the house, split proceeds, divided the rest, signed papers. 5 years reduced to signatures. It's been 6 months now since that Christmas morning. My apartment feels like home. I've reconnected with old friends, made new ones, started cooking classes. Turns out I'm not half bad. Alice always said I'd suck. Last I heard, Alice is still living with Holly. Apparently their perfect sister bond cracked under actually sharing a roof and bills. Holly's boyfriend moved out when Alice moved in. The financial strain showed Holly who Alice really is, someone who takes and takes. Sometimes at night I still think about it all, not with regret, but wonder. How did I not see it for so long? Why did I accept that treatment? Therapy's helping me see it wasn't weakness. It was trust. I trusted someone who didn't deserve it. Yesterday I got an Instagram friend request from Alice. Declined without a second thought. 10 minutes later a text from an unknown number. I miss you. I'm sorry. I've changed. I didn't reply. No need. That chapter is closed. The trained dog learned new tricks, found a new home, and is finally off the leash. And you know what? Life's pretty damn good now. This has been Once Loyal. If you want to hear more stories like this, smash that subscribe button and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.